And Gavan, this talk of masks might be alarming to some people. What more can you tell us?
I can tell you that government sources are going out of their way this lunchtime, Aisling, to say that this is not a formal government policy. This is not an indication that formal mask mandates, as they previously were considered, are coming back. Rather, what is happening is that the government, and in particular the Department of Health under Stephen Donnelly, is mindful of the prospective disruption to delivery of healthcare services if COVID numbers begin to resurge at the level that they have been doing for a little while. And what the government wants to do is make sure that in the event that a mandatory mask policy might be warranted, that legislation is there to allow for it. Now, right now, there would be no government power to introduce a mask mandate. The previous emergency powers lapsed at the end of March. So if the government wanted to go back to the drawing board and reintroduce a policy of mandatory mask wearing, it would have to, first of all, go back to the Dáil and Shannon and get permission from them to introduce that. That would be a long-winded process. The previous legislation has expired and will be in need of some revision. We are told that it is only as a precaution that that is now going to be drafted, and we're told there is no prospect, or any prospect at all, of that being legislated for by the August recess. But nonetheless, the government now looking at redrafting that legislation should the need arise in the coming months.
And separately, Gavan, the Cabinet approved the short-term deployment of the Defence Forces to Dublin Airport today.
That's right. This is something which has been called for several weeks back, when there were, as we know, that significant crowding events at Dublin Airport, and there have been suggestions that maybe the Defence Forces could have some role in helping to get people through security. Now, it was clarified at the time that the Defence Forces are not airside cleared for security purposes, so the only role that they could potentially provide would be some other customer-facing roles elsewhere in the airport. But it has today been announced by both the Department of Transport and the Department of Defence that the hypothetical clearance has been granted to the Defence Forces for a short, very narrowly defined window of about 6 weeks for some Defence Forces personnel to be sent to the airport. There is no guarantee yet that that is going to happen, but the airport says that because of the volume of travellers that are going to be coming through in the coming weeks, and also the volume of COVID cases, which mean that some of their own staff are currently out of action, that there may be a need for some other people to be drafted in, and that's where the Defence Forces would come. But they don't have airside security clearance, so it would not be in the operation of the airport security terminals.
OK, Gavan, thank you very much for that.